Job hunting in the 21st century, using technology for career search advantages. Before you go out and spend thousands of dollars to get a professional career assistance company to rewrite your resume, provide mass mailings of hard copy resumes, and provide interview training and feedback, and all to support their fancy offices in high-rise office buildings, I want to give you this to start off with to get you ahead and get that job search accomplished at a much lower price. Who am I? I am Dawn D. Boyer, PhD, with 22 plus years of human resources, recruiting, and resume writing experience, of which half those years were in the federal government contracting arena. I have rewritten over 10,000 resumes and assisted hundreds of job seekers get their resume before recruiters or hiring managers for serious consideration as a job candidate. To be transparent, I do offer disclosure. My consulting company helps job seekers rewrite resumes for job searches. If after watching this presentation you just decide it's not something you can do, I can help you with your resume to help you get that new job. Warning, this presentation and other training modules are not packed with a lot of graphics, but you're going to get the most amount of data possible in a short time period for an impactful, valuable, educational, and useful information. Because there's not a lot of pretty pictures, it might be boring to your eyes, but it is ear candy for the amount of incredible, valuable information you can take away. So sit back in a comfortable chair and get your pen out and start taking notes. You must develop a plan. Every trip worth making begins with a goal. Every trip worth taking has a map to follow. Successful businesses have a strategic short and long-term plan, so you must treat your job search as a strategic business goal. Job searches and career planning are no different than successful business planning. Are you ready for that rat race? This presentation will demonstrate the best practices for writing resumes in a prescribed format to ensure your resume is written simply, for parsing into the technology-based resume database systems, and that it's rich in achievements and metrics to hook the recruiter for continued interest in your skill sets and experience, so they will continue to read your resume. Are you ready? All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over and provide explanations and samples for formatting that is used for writing resumes that are required by government vendors in putting together proposals for employee resumes for federal, state, and local contract bids. This format is good not only for government services and federal contract workers, but it also applies to all commercial industries for job applications. The reason that this formatting works is that vital information is placed in the proper sections of the resume, which are easy to follow from most to least importance. The data is easy to read on the first page with an optimum placement of the data. Resumes are going to be metricized, which means they're going to be reliable and objective measurements, not subjective or your opinion about how well you do. Details are going to be specific and unique and show what your capabilities as a candidate are versus just telling what you can do. A lot of people will go out onto the internet because they're not quite sure where to start and look for a resume template to start writing their resume. And the question is, why can't I just use a template? Well, I'm going to tell you why those are bad for you to use. If you don't know how to control the formatting and the style of a resume in a Word processed document and you want to change it, you could actually screw up the whole resume if you're not sure what you're doing. A lot of templates come with text boxes that you fill in all the data, and when it comes to converting the resume over into an ATS database, those text boxes could actually convert into a garbled mess on the other end. So you want to stay away from the templates. Other reasons why templates are bad is that most users are very unfamiliar with formatting in word processing software. So I wouldn't advise risking using these templates if you can't control how the resume is going to look. A lot of templates out on the internet also provide way too much white space. Your 2-page resume may be full of white space and actually stretch to 3 pages, which is not good. You want everything packed concisely, and you do want some white space, but you don't want broad fields of it in your resume. So how do you start? Best thing to do is to open up your word processing document software. I prefer Microsoft Word, and of course others prefer other versions, but that's the best for this particular practice because most people out there in the business world use Microsoft documents. So in the top left-hand side of the page, and the center's okay too, but not in the header or the footer section, you want to type your point of contact information. The reason you don't want your point of contact information in the header or the footer section is that in many cases, the parsing software will actually delete that information that are in headers and footers. So a recruiter may be looking at your resume and go, oh my gosh, here's the perfect candidate, but they can't find your name or your address or your phone number or your email because the system has deleted it. You can bold-face the text for your name. You don't want to put your street address for your house. And the reason for that is because you may have some concerns with identity theft. You're going to be providing your work history here, so you don't want to give too much information because you never know who is going to be reading those resumes. And then some people will label the point of contact information such as cell phone and then put the number, or home phone and put the number, or email and then put the address. It's a duh moment. People reading the resume know what it is, so why label it? So here's some how-tos. You can see that I'm working in a Word document format. I've noted here in the graphic where you can go to set up your document. So if you're in the Layout tab, click on Page Setup, Margins, and then set your margins for 1 inch on all 4 sides. Most Microsoft Word default formatting is different. It may have 1.25 on the left and right and 1 inch at the top and bottom. So it's best to change your document so there's 1 inch on all 4 sides. Also ensure there's no before and after line spacing. How do you change that? Go to the Format tab, click on Paragraph, and then on Indents and Spacing sub-tab, click on the 0 point before and 0 point after for your single line spacing, and this allows you to pump in as much information on one page as possible without too much white space showing up. Now, what do you want to provide? You want to provide your full first and last name. You can add your middle initial if you have a middle name. But do not add senior, junior, MB, PhD, PE, any other acronyms. Automatic tracking system for the resume database may not exactly know where to put these, and you may end up having PhD in the junior field or PE in the senior field. So don't risk it. Make sure that your transfer of data into the system is going to be clean. You do want your city and state and your 5-digit zip code in the resume. Do not put an extended 9-digit zip code because that allows somebody to track down to your street. Just the 5-digit zip code is all you need. And you do want the city and state because most recruiters want to know where you are so they can decide to pursue you because you are in the city or area where the job is located, or they need to consider transferring you and paying you for that relocation. You do want to put a cell phone number. If you don't have a cell phone, you can go out and get one for as little as $49 a month, maybe even cheaper. And that's the number you want to use to provide on your resume. You do not want a home phone number, which is a landline, which can be traced back through a reverse lookup on the internet. And you don't want to put your work phone number. because that crosses the line of ethical behavior. You don't want to be seen as using your current company's assets, equipment, and time to be spending job searching. You do want to create a permanent email address. I actually recommend to my clients that they have a Gmail account that has been created specifically for their job search. That way it won't fill up their personal email address with junk if they start getting spam, and they could go into the Gmail address once a day or every 2 days and check for people reaching out to talk to them about a new career position. Do not label the point of contact information. I've already noted this. If you write cell phone number, who cares if it's a cell phone number? They just need a valid phone number that they can reach out to touch you. Don't provide a street address. With all the information you're going to be providing, that's a lot of career data, and they could guesstimate the salaries to steal your identity and create credit cards. If they can track you down to your home and your house, all it takes is a little bit of dumpster diving to find potentially your birth date and your social security number. Be careful with your email addresses with obvious innuendos. Hot mama, want your body at, or mom of 5 does not encourage serious recruiters, and it may be giving away a little too much personal information that is not necessary on the recruiter's end about your job capabilities. Again, don't provide work email addresses or phone numbers. You want to be working ethically in your job and career search, so only give your personal email address and your personal cell phone number. Okay, here's how it should look at the top of your resume. You'll notice that it's short and simple. It's very well laid out. First name, middle initial, last name. The next line is the city and the state and the zip code. Next line is the phone number, and the next line is the email address. This ensures that the database that you are uploading your resume into can recognize what these pieces of information are and parse them over very quickly into the fields that have been designated for that data. Keep the 1-inch margins all around. And do notice that the objective is simply a job title. What kind of job are you looking for? Here's the problem with objectives in many job seekers' resumes. They assume it's a conversation and offer a huge paragraph of ambiguous information or subjective information. I am an excellent this. I am a superb that. I am great with person and people and team members. This is all your opinion. It doesn't really prove anything, so you might as well not even add that large paragraph of subjective information. A lot of people don't offer a functional job title in their application resume. The recruiters want to know, what are you sending me this information for? Answer the question before they even ask it. Many job seekers will ask the company for help versus offering to solve what to the company is a problem. They have a problem they need to solve. They need a body in a chair to be able to perform certain work. The problem is what they're trying to solve. Here's a good example of a bad objective written for a resume. I would like to work for a dynamically growing company who can provide me an opportunity to grow in my career with training and mentoring opportunities within either junior management or customer service, where the company can provide me plenty of benefits such as health insurance and tuition reimbursement. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. The applicant has carried on a conversation, therefore wasting the recruiter's time. The recruiter has no clue as to what job the applicant wanted to apply the resume towards. Applicant has asked the company to train them for the job. Companies don't have time or funds to train applicants. They want that person working and ready to hit the ground running as soon as they're hired. The applicant has not offered a solution to the company's problem. So what did the applicant say that was of any use? Absolutely nothing. All right, here's the rule. Use the KISS theory. Keep it simple, silly. A very well-written objective is written succinctly, preferably one line. If the information is absolutely vital or there's some long job title names that sort of carry over into a second line, it might be okay. Here's a good example of some objective statements in a good resume. These objectives are related to past experience on the job seeker's resume, and they come from functional job titles. They're not the specific job titles, they're functional. So somebody was in marketing and sales. Another applicant was a restaurant cashier and waitress, and that's the same type of job they're looking for now. An applicant is in human resources. They may have been a benefits manager, they may have been a recruiter, they may have been a director of HR, but their general job title was in human resources. An applicant may have been in ship hull repair. They could have been a welder. They could have been metal repair fabrication. You could be an educational specialist, an IT specialist. So these are basically generic functional job titles. Here's some more examples of job title objectives. CIA spy, a ditch digger, a cartoon icon, an egg inspector. Okay, these are sort of funny and cute, but you get the picture. Put the name of the functional job title that you're seeking with your resume at the top of your resume as the objective. Now, assume a job candidate wants to stay in an experience field and is aiming to move into a next level or promotional opportunity. They can still state a job title objective using the KISS principle. So somebody was in marketing and sales, now they want to move up to management, so their job objective is more specific, Mideastern Regional Sales Manager. They are in retail food services, so now they want to be an area manager, retail fast food sales. Here we have taken the career field, the general functional job titles, and made them a little bit more specific for the job objective. So now the recruiter knows exactly what type of job the applicant is aiming for. Go ahead and do some research on job descriptions. You'll need to do this anyway to write about your experience for each job on your resume to ensure that minimum skills are noted and those key words are used. So your homework, after you've viewed this particular training module, is to look for job titles, same or similar or parallel. Find salary surveys for your geographic area so you know what kind of salaries those jobs will be paid. Look for job descriptions with a synopsis of the general tasks and responsibilities. And then search for golden nuggets of data that make a job description stand out or pop and get the attention of the recruiter. The top 4 inches of your resume are the most important part. By the end of this presentation, you should now know how to start formatting your resume, keeping it simple, and complete the header information at the top most important part of the resume, the top 4 inches, which is above the fold that the recruiter will see the minute they open the resume up. If you're not too terribly sure if you can do it yourself, reach out and hire an expert. Visit my website at dboyerconsulting.com or send me an email. You can reach me at dawn.boyer@dboyerconsulting.com. Hire that expert to rewrite your resume to obtain the results you are seeking to advance your career. You ready? Let's get started. Good luck.